Colonel's Journal, January 22, 2025. Cold and lonely inside, only dogs to accompany me now. The wheel spun long, far too long. It landed on Zack Snyder's Watchmen. Who watches Watchmen? Me, I guess. The movie was long, far too long. 3 hours and counting. My eyes glazed over, nearly killed me, nearly killed us all. But I go on. I have a show to do. A show that's long, far too long. With me is Dr. Florian.
Yeah, there's no difference between a long Hobbit or a long Watchman, am I right?
We'll have to talk about it, I guess. And also with us is Night Erich.
It's a joke. This whole podcast is a fucking joke.
Wow.
You're not wrong.
The Joker did put this on the wheel, apparently, right?
He did. Yeah, he did. Yeah. That's why we're doing Watchmen in the fucking Batman show.
In the Batman show.
Movie.
Yeah, because the Joker knew that the only thing better than a Batman is a Watchman, you know?
Perhaps. I think the Joker's probably up to his usual MO trying to torture us, but yeah. But what do you guys think? Are you guys positive on this at all?
Well, I think this
pretty
is still,
positive on it.
Yeah, this is still the best superhero movie ever.
The best one ever.
Best Superman.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's never been beaten. I don't know. They just keep making, like, instead of progress, they forgot the plot. They didn't figure out that Rorschach was the best, and all the other heroes were pointless. You know.
Well, I thought this was kind of an awful slog, and I kind of dreaded watching it, and then it took a very long time to get through. Well, I don't know.
Damn.
Well, that's the only criticism, is that it was long.
Well, no, I got other stuff, we'll talk about it, but I don't know. So it's this is famously adapted from one of the biggest graphic novels, comic books of all time, from Alan Moore, and Dave Gibbons did the art.
Yeah.
And it's it's controversial because of because people accuse it of getting things wrong. I didn't get a chance to actually read the comic beforehand and stuff here, but so this is my first watch.
You haven't read the comic. I doubt that Florian has read the comic.
I actually have watched.
You have?
Oh, I have watched the thing. What's it called?
The
Watchmen
motion
chapter
comic.
1 and 2, and that's basically very
Damn
similar to the comic. Apparently,
that's probably closer, at least. Yeah, the squid shows up, I guess.
Yeah,
probably.
They did do a squid, and they I guess they never used the generators that Dr. Manhattan made. Like, I guess those were just like a completely abandoned plot point, which is stupid, and I think Zack Snyder is brilliant for making that the Doomsday device instead. So pretty happy with Zack's choices. The comic movie was not good, I guess, because it's basically
I figured that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just the same story as Zack Snyder, with like those few changes that were made, and well, it doesn't look great, it doesn't look terrible, but like they should have just made a different story. I don't know who's gonna watch this who hasn't seen the original by Zack Snyder,
Well, I mean, as far as visuals go, I'd say this is Zack Snyder's movies, they're not appealing to look at, I don't think. I think they're all kind of ugly, the ones that I've seen, mostly just other DC stuff. And this one especially, it's like it's teal and it's beige and stuff, and it's always too dark, and I didn't like looking at it one bit, and that was one of the main things that
too dark
upset
what, are you
me.
Serious?
Damn.
It was so, like, I mean, I get it's supposed to be dour because it's a dour world and stuff, right? But it's like, I don't like looking at it. No part of it is like nice to see at all.
It's no more dark than like several other Batman things.
Yeah, but those all look good though. You watch like the Batman, right? And it's all, they got good choices of color.
I don't think
good
that
saturation.
Looks better.
There's not just a tint over the whole thing,
What? A tint?
I don't know. I like it. I like it a lot. I think Larry Fong is a great cinematographer, and I like when he shoots Zack's movies. I don't like as much when Zack shoots his own movies.
Visually, this was really impressive. You're insane.
I mean, the shot choices are good. Whenever it's slow motion, that stuff looks kind of cool. It's just the colors and the brightness of the whole thing. It just looks looks bad and ugly because of that. I don't like it at all.
The only thing that looked bad was like the girl's outfit, which was all latex, but she should have actually been like half naked, so that was disappointing. Okay, but everything else was good. Okay,
well,
everything else was beautiful.
I think I kind of like the look of Dr. Manhattan specifically. He's like sort of a standout, but I think it's mostly just because he's the only thing that puts any like color in the room at all.
Light onto the screen.
Yeah, he's always so bright and stuff, and it is sometimes it's a little overbearing how bright he is, but I think that's kind of the point. So,
Well, just makes sense.
I just completely disagree. So interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know. Well,
we should definitely get into like what on earth you would have done to improve it. Wait, you might maybe you just saw it with like weird. Maybe your monitor is just too dark by default or something. I don't know.
It's not.
This seems like
it used to be. I fixed that though.
Impossible.
So. I don't know. It's just it's not like it was like hard to see anything or whatever. It was just it just looked really gross and stuff. Yeah. I don't know. And that's
What part of it looked gross? This doesn't make sense.
The movie, the stuff that was on the screen, it was all. Well, it's mostly the color tinting.
Give me an example.
Well, like when you're, when there's sort of, in the sort of intro in particular and stuff. It's so like beige over the whole thing and stuff, and it's like toward the end of the movie they switch it to like a blue kind of filter over it, like a very deep navy blue kind of thing over top of it, and it just at no point I just didn't think it looked good at any point. It's also like washed out and stuff.
Is that it starts at night when the comedian gets beat up? You thought that was weirdly colored, really?
I didn't think it just didn't look great. I don't know. That's something that I just don't care for.
You're allowed to not like it. I just don't agree.
Well, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I don't know.
Seems like this should be illegal,
Holding this opinion should be illegal. You might have a little bit more stead now in the U.S. now, Florian. We can definitely start censoring opinions that we don't agree with.
Are they gonna bring back like 5 terms for presidents like they have in the movie here and stuff? Or?
Like for Nixon, yeah, could be.
Did they have 5 terms, or did they just get rid of terms? Well, I mean, 5 terms would be pointless. You might as well have no term limit then.
Well, yeah. I mean, I assume there's no term limit in this universe. Nixon was in friggin' term 5, I believe. So.
I thought they said term 3.
Oh, maybe I don't know. He might have been elected later too. I don't know. There's something going on with that.
There was another time skip.
Yeah. I don't know.
Well, it's always great to have Nixon. I guess if only they had just kept Obama, then this would have all been fine, But no.
Well, Obama was born, but he wasn't around at the time, I guess.
Well, I meant like that was the first time that term limits mattered,
Oh, like in real life, you just want Obama back. Yeah. That's sort of people keep thinking like that's going to be the fight. If they get rid of term limits this time, then that's going to be the fight next time, and it'll be fantastic.
Bring back Obama.
I mean, he's probably still polls higher than like anyone else they've put up in the last 8 years or whatever. So I could see that.
I think
they gotta bring back Biden again.
Amongst my people,
they could.
Obama has lost a lot of his credibility. However, I think you're right that like amongst like the voting populace and the Democrat base, he would still have a lot of purchase. So
yeah, like 40 plus or whatever. They're still interested in Barry.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah. I mean, I guess if you have Trump, then basically the age doesn't matter anymore. But I mean, it seems like there's probably gonna be someone better than Obama at this point.
We can only hope, really. That's.
I mean, he was a really strong orator, so I guess maybe.
That's.
I guess if that would be hilarious if Trump removes term limits and then he gets defeated by Obama. That would be the most hilarious timeline.
It would be.
Just complete failure. He could have just put his son up and he would have won, but nope, he had to go by himself, and then Obama killed him.
Well, this movie takes place deep in the Cold War. It's dealing with a lot of these themes of like imminent just destruction by nuclear fire and everything. And I think it's sort of it's weird because it feels like it's doing a lot with it, but at the same time, it doesn't feel like it actually is. It feels like it's very kind of surface level on some of these things. Like there's I don't know. It's just these things are happening. They're kind of in the background, and
I mean, they're only in the background because Dr. Manhattan is so selfish that he just fucks off and then he abandons Earth to find for itself. Otherwise, it would have been pretty central. But they do try to bring it back, So
I don't understand why he doesn't just fix everything. Right? Couldn't he get rid of all the nukes or something?
I probably think not before they launched them, but I think
they say in the movie like he could stop 99% of them, and the 1% that got through would be enough to destroy. Like basically, he's not trustworthy enough to be able to get rid of every single thing, even if he seems like he's like.
I guess the thing what they meant there is that if the nukes were launched, he would get rid of 99% of them. I don't know if.
Yeah. Why couldn't he could go to all the bunkers or something, every single missile silo, and just delete them or something, turn them into bubbles?
I guess he just needs to do like a training montage, and then he can split himself into like 5,000 Dr. Manhattans, and then one for every nuke, He can just take them all out.
Yeah, that could be a good scene, They can play one of the awful fucking music choices they have throughout this movie
God.
too.
How dare you? Wow.
I rolled my eyes so hard when they started playing Hallelujah in that fucking sex scene. It's too much. It's too Zack Snyder
it's
for
so
me.
on the nose. It's so on the nose. But I feel
that.
Like he knows that it's on the nose.
He can know that, and it can still be annoying. I don't know. I didn't care for like any of the songs in this. They all felt really out of place and stuff.
Wow, none of the songs.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Terrible.
There's like good songs that are like Hallelujah is a good song and stuff, but it's just why they just come up kind of whenever, and it's in moments that I think would be better served by like decent orchestral stuff for like whatever, normal soundtrack or something.
Oh, screw that. It's way better to have these songs, It's amazing.
I don't know.
Just Bob Dylan alone.
I think it's a good usage of like putting you in the time, putting you in the like, even though like putting you within the context of what's happening in popular culture, because that's like you haven't read the comic, and the comic book is really trying to like sell you on this is a real alternate universe world in which these things are happening. So the usage of music is just kind of like using what a movie would to let you know those things. I
guess so, but like would people be listening to like All Along the Watchtower and Hallelujah and Bob Dylan and stuff like would those be like the predominant like 80s songs they'd want to put on? They have like an MTV thing show up for a moment in this and stuff, but it seems like it would be very different music that you choose for that.
Well, I mean, Bob Dylan probably would be the best choice. Can't argue with him, right?
To me, it comes off more like Zack Snyder's like mixtape than like a thoughtfully chosen stuff for this movie, And that's part of that is because I've seen fucking Justice League, and Leonard Cohen's Hallelujah plays in that too, or whatever, and it's all like, yeah.
Wow.
But
well, you can't be tainted by later works. Okay, this is where it was definitely his best implementation of these songs.
I guess I should have watched Watchmen first, I guess, but yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. There's a lot of very big lines in this, There's what happened to the American dream? It came true. I believe that's stuff like that's probably from the comic, right? I guess.
I would say so much of this is just from the comic. There's very little that's actually been changed to accommodate the movie. So if something ever clangs for you, it's probably just doing what the comic did.
Well, it's the thing is, it feels weird when like something like that will come up and it's like something really, really cool that hits really hard, and I'm like, oh, that's sort of it sort of just comes out of nowhere, though. It feels like there's sort of. It just feels like a lot of.
What do you mean it comes out of nowhere?
The
comedian says that after he was like rubber bulleting fucking protesters that couldn't be put off because of a police strike that was happening, so the fucking superheroes had to come and fucking put down the crowds. Like,
But it's like it doesn't.
What do you mean it came out of nowhere?
It feels like such a big poignant like line about the state of humanity and stuff, and he just says it in the middle of this bit that he's doing. Because there's like normal
it's not about
dialogue,
the
like
state
what
of humanity. It's about fucking America.
Well,
what do you mean?
Yeah, I know, but it's the American dream, you know. It's not the world dream, but like it's he's going like because Night Owl, he's talking like, oh, you can't be doing this, you can't be shooting him. What about the American dream? And it's like, it seems like a line that I don't know. It doesn't seem like the sort of thing that they would say to each other.
If you can't get on board with that kind of stuff, then unfortunately this movie's not going to be for you, and the comic's probably not for you either, because that's just straight out of the comic, unfortunately.
It might read better. Maybe it's a line delivery thing. Maybe it's just I don't know. I would have to read the thing, and I want to read it. It seems like a cool comic book. People say it's pretty good, you know. I don't know. It's just it just seems these things didn't work for me and stuff when they came together.
There's no way that line is going to be delivered any better than by this amazing actor.
When I'm reading it, then I can deliver it.
Just a goat.
I can deliver it perfectly in my head, though. Okay, exactly.
But it was
the best
perfectly
possible
delivered.
way.
You are.
Here it is from the comic.
Here it is. Okay, I'll look at this.
Oh, you're blinking it, right? I saw you gonna say it.
Ha! You see this? I seen that written up all over during this last 2 weeks. They don't like us, and they don't trust us. This whole situation, it's horrible. Well, me, I kind of like it when things get weird, you know? I like it when the cards are all on the table, but the country is disintegrated. But the country is disintegrating. What's happened to America? What happened to the American dream? See, that's when you read this whole thing, right, and the line comes in context and stuff, and they're already talking like that. But that's not the lines that lead up to it in the movie, though. It's like a different set of lines or something. And it seemed it's like more naturalistic, like, hey, stop that, what the fuck are you doing lines, and then he goes with this American dream thing, you know? I'm pretty sure
it does not clang for me at all.
I don't know. That's probably a nitpick sort of thing, but these sorts of moments come up a lot for me, and I should have written more of them down, honestly. But yeah.
Yeah, you know what? You actually have a point. I guess with all this dialogue, it makes slightly more sense that he would say this, but like, I mean, without the dialogue, it's just more badass. So I guess either way works.
Well, here's another thing, though, right? One of the things I'm aware of about Watchmen, right, is that these characters aren't really supposed to be super, like, epic and badass, you know?
But that's your mistake, is that you've got too many liberal sensitivities, and if you were on Rorschach's level, then you would see how epic these characters are.
Alan Moore would hate to be called a liberal, okay? But this is... I don't know. It seems like
what is Adam Moore?
He's something more extreme on the left than a liberal, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly.
He's some kind of anarchist. If I know.
I think so.
Wait, but I'm talking about. Wait.
Alan Moore wrote the comic. He's not credited on the movies, but.
I see. Well, I mean, it's what Rorschach would say about you if you. Well, maybe I guess he does say communist too, right? But then again,
I wrote down actually. Rorschach hates politicians, whores, intellectuals, liberals, retarded children, homosexuals, and beans.
No, he doesn't hate retarded children. He just thinks that it's bad to behave like retarded children.
Well,
come on, man.
That implies some level of hatred.
No, it doesn't. Shut up.
For
that's
them themselves, you know, if they're not to be emulated.
No, that's really stupid, man. Are you serious?
I think he says screams like an abattoir full of retarded children.
Yeah, this is insane.
Like that,
to think that that's like specifically an insult to retarded children. Okay, wow.
I don't think he feels great because
you do have liberal sensitivities. I was right. Okay, this is word policing for a movie that's like 15 years old. That doesn't make any sense. That is how people were talking.
I'm not saying it's bad to have it in the movie because that's just how the character is, right? Like that's, you know, if you want to write about a character who hates retarded children,
definitely a right-wing loony as portrayed in the movie.
Yeah,
and the book.
I mean, I don't know how you can possibly argue that Rorschach hates retarded children. Okay, this is like, it's just an insult, dude. Like,
well, I mean, yeah.
If you are on the insulting end of an insult, then you could definitely make an argument that you're meant to be.
If you're so bad that you are the insult, then like, yeah.
No, that would be extremely woke and bad. Like, you should not be doing that. It's like, it's like when, I mean, you could take this to any level. Like, you could be offended at the word idiot. Like, if you have like any disability, or like, oh, this is actually how my people were portrayed. Like,
but you don't just like idiots, worse. Though, right? Like, that's a bad thing to be, is to be an idiot. Just inherently within being
so
called
Purple
that, you know?
Colonel is actually against low IQ people. Okay, is this your actual character then? Is that you hate low IQ people?
Yes.
Really? Wow.
I don't know. Sure.
So that's why that insult is okay with you, but then
no, I don't know what idiot refers to on an ancient psychological like terminology level.
It's an IQ thing.
Okay. Well, that's, you don't want to be an idiot though. That's like a negative connotation though. That's like the point of an insult. Is that it's like bad to be that.
What do you? So is any insult just unacceptable then?
Well, no. Like, you can insult people, but like, if his character is that he's insulting people by calling them retarded, then that implies that he does not think highly of retarded people, I guess, like.
Yeah, but what insults are you left with that don't make you a monster then?
You can still, I mean, I think idiot is just like a less harsh insult, I guess. I don't know. This is all written in his journal anyway. I don't want to police him too hard what he's writing in his book, but that's.
Well, he did release it in the end, I guess.
That's true. Yeah, he did publish it, so
or try to get
cancelable. It published. Yeah. Hashtag cancel Rorschach.
He sent it to the frontiersman.
Yeah.
A journal which is very, very, very concerned about its image. Okay, they would never publish such hate speech.
They change all the words like a Roald Dahl reprint or something, where they got rid of all the offending material.
Did they take out all the Jew hating?
Well, definitely that, but they get rid of like, you can't, like, Augustus Gloop isn't fat anymore or something in modern Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Wow. But yeah, I mean, like, when we're talking Rorschach, I mean, he talked about the guy who did the smartest guy in the world, whatever his name is. At one point he just dropped. Yeah, Ozymandias. At one point he just drops possibly homosexual. Okay, now that one might be a little bit suspicious. Okay, that he's like possibly keeping a list of who might be gay. That would be bad. Okay, you could say now that's definitely a possible fascism that he's doing there, but like
it's like, rude,
calling people retarded. Come on, man.
Well, from my understanding, Rorschach he's a parody of an earlier comic character called The Question, who was an objectivist fantasy kind of character from Steve Ditko, who also like co-created Spider-Man and stuff. So,
yep.
And that's so Rorschach, he's like a smelly, dirty, homeless objectivist, I guess, Randian objectivist, and that's
I think the question was not that. The question was definitely the like clean.
The question was probably cooler.
Nicer version of that. Yeah. Like, I think what Watchmen is aiming to do is like to give the like realistic bent on what these superhero people would be like.
Yeah.
So if the character is an objectivist, Alan Moore would be like, oh, well, he used to be a filthy bum on the street.
He just assumes he's better because he's come to this like worldview or whatever that says that he is. So
he reads right-wing rags and yes.
Wait, so Alan Moore is the unhinged one in this because he's been portraying him as homeless?
Well, Alan Moore is
no.
I mean, that's how he wants to write the character, but he is also like a very strange person, possible wizard. He's a very wizard. Interesting character.
He worships Glycon, the snake god.
Okay, definite wizard. Yeah.
Wait, Rorschach is a wizard? What? I don't
know. No.
Alan
Moore, who wrote this.
Yeah. And he hates he's kind of a weird hypocrite himself, because he hates all of his adaptations of his work, and he's talked about how he hates the concept of adaptation itself, as like regurgitating other people's ideas, but then also Watchmen, like all of the characters in Watchmen are based on like old characters from old comics, and like he's done like League of Extraordinary Gentlemen is just based on like Sherlock.
Part of the thing, the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen
is that
stuff
what
is
he
definitely
wrote?
a piece of that.
Yeah.
What?
Did he write League of Extraordinary Gentlemen?
Yes, but Florian, if you're thinking of just the movie, then the movie is kind of a bastardized version of that comic. So
I assume
it's not
so. I
quite the
mean,
same thing.
I wouldn't have ended up reading his comic.
I don't know.
It doesn't seem like it would be worth reading. I mean, I saw it. It didn't look that good. Look at these character designs. They're so much inferior to Zack Snyder's versions.
I love their designs in the comics. They look so fucking. They look so dopey and silly and like Golden Age.
They
and
look
stuff.
like they're from
great.
the 80s, and if the Golden Age ones look like they're from the 40s or whatever.
Yeah.
Like,
Wow.
like
Well, I mean, Night Owl, he's
what-
running around like 80s Batman and whatever. I guess he's got his whole get up, but like he's very
Alan
bright
Moore-
brown and stuff. It's
Alan Moore probably wanted to do this with the DC characters, but since he didn't own them, he couldn't do it. So instead, he created kind of like parallel versions of them, and then did that with these. And then, funnily enough, those then got absorbed into the DC universe. And
Watchmen
there have been spin-off comics and all this stuff.
Yeah, I want to say Watchmen was originally DC. It was like under Vertigo.
No,
or
I
whatever
know,
they
I
released
know.
it.
But it was Vertigo, and it was kind of a spin-off thing. So it was understood to exist in its own kind of universe, its own continuity.
Yeah.
But then they've integrated it into the DC universe. So
It would have been weird if this like seminal comic book was about like Captain Atom and stuff, and then every time you do Captain Atom in a Batman comic, he has to be he has to tie in somehow with like this specific weird story.
yeah, that would be pretty funny.
Well, I mean, pretty sure that. Well, what's your opinion on this, Erich? Don't you think that the Zack Snyder movie is just more fun than reading the comic?
No, I think the comic's definitely way better than... Like, the comic is the best way to get this story, overall. I think, for me, changing the squid ending is a bad change that shouldn't have been made.
But the devices were right there, and they didn't lead anywhere. I think it just way better ties everything together.
Especially when you read the comic book, there's a lot of things that have been seeded throughout the comic that makes sense for why that squid is the way it is. It's definitely a leap that you have to make at the very end to be like, oh yeah, there's this alien squid that's actually not an alien, that's actually a genetically engineered creature made by these artists and these engineers and all of these people brought together by Ozymandias, who he kills then. But like,
yeah, I saw that.
To me, the thing where it kind of breaks down is why this would be so crazy for the comedian to learn. Like, all the comedian really would learn is, all the comedian would learn is, oh, we're going to kill millions of people and we're going to blame Dr. Manhattan for it, versus him learning that they've been genetically creating this giant squid thing that's going to psychically kill millions of people, and we're going to say that there's alien invasions. That like it's so ridiculous that is the kind of thing that would break him and be like, yeah, this is such a joke, it's so ridiculous, it's so over the top, how would this possibly play? And you're killing millions of people to like buttress this ridiculous thing. I like that way more for the comedian than I like just saying, oh yeah, Dr. Manhattan turned against us.
Yeah. And it's sort of like
did the comedian go crazy because he thought Dr. Manhattan went against them? Is that what you're saying?
When I watched the movie,
it's that it's like he's being framed for it. That like they had done all of those things to frame Dr. Manhattan, to make him break down and make it seem like he would turn on the entire world.
Was comedian like driven insane? I thought he was just sort of like very guilty and stuff, and he knew about.
No, it was, but like he's that broken that he would go like see his former villains and stuff like that and break down crying and shit like that. So it's like it's that kind of like. Yeah.
I mean, he might have done that kind of stuff anyways, but I mean, he in the end he was sane enough when it came to his final fight, you know.
I want to say in the comic you don't see him like fucking uppercut the wall and shit and like an epic fight scene at the start of it and stuff.
No,
I want to say it's very brief.
I mean, you wouldn't see it anyways. It wouldn't be like many pages of fighting, you know, right? Erich?
Yeah, they definitely play the fighting out more in this, which I think is fine. It's a movie, so it's gotta meet those movie kind of thrills.
How are they like punching holes in the walls and shit though? That seems like they don't have super soldier serum or whatever, right? They're just people.
Well, I mean, they've definitely got
they're just exaggerated. They're just.
I mean, for like the line from Rorschach is exactly the same when he says, "The comedian killed by a burglar? Ridiculous!" Like, they are incredibly powerful. Okay, there's no way that he would just get like killed by a random goon. So he definitely would have had the powers, but they didn't. I don't think they showed the goon in the comic, right? They didn't show.
I think Ozymandias is the only one who would be seen as like super strength, but like his is kind of like he is the tip top physical form that somebody could possibly be. Yeah. I also don't like his casting in this movie. Like he should be bigger. He should be like an Adonis guy rather than Matthew Good, who's a little bit scrawnier than I would prefer him to be. But.
He is smaller than everyone else in it. Yeah, I thought Rorschach was very good, like sort of very good like face form and stuff. You know,
small. No. But he's also small. Like he's a little bit scrawny looking, and I like that for Rorschach. Like he should be a little bit like, yeah, he's just this nobody nothing short guy who.
Yeah, he's not eating well. He's eating fucking cold beans
all the time. Yeah.
So, well, I mean, he is just pretty much indestructible, isn't he? Like as old as that old night owl who retired.
No,
they had, like, this.
They say he's 35 at one point. So.
Really? Because I mean, they had that backflash where they made that original super team meetup and everyone was against it, but then later they decided to become Watchmen.
No. That was when they brought Watchmen back. Like they've essentially decided to make a new group, and Ozymandias was bringing everyone together to be like, hey, we can make a difference. We can help things out.
Yeah, that seemed like 70s or something.
And then Comedian burns down his map and tells him, like, you're full of shit. It's not worth doing this shit. And, like, that, I think that's when his original enmity towards Comedian started up.
Yeah. I assume the guy who beat him up has to be, like, Ozymandias himself goes, right? Like, beats the shit out of him?
Yeah. It's Ozymandias.
Okay. Yeah. And, yeah.
Wait, he's not Ozymandias in the Zack Snyder movie, right?
I think it is. They don't show who he is or whatever.
Yes, it is.
They don't show his face because you know it's the mystery of that's the whole point of the movie. But yeah, I think it must be.
I assumed he would have just hired someone.
Damn, well, now really... it's so personal. It's so personal to Ozymandias that he would do it.
Yeah. This Comedian, he tried to rape that woman one time and stuff too. So he's probably like the worst. He's like the worst guy. He's so he's so evil in this.
Well, Ozymandias is the worst guy. Oh wait, the Comedian? Oh okay.
Yeah, Comedian's probably the worst one in this, I'd say.
Yeah, I guess that might be true. Yeah. Even though Ozymandias did kill like way more
millions of people.
Yeah, but he had like a reason though. He wasn't burning like fleeing Vietnamese soldiers and stuff.
Yeah, but he caused this whole thing. He didn't need to do any of that because like he specifically made it so that Dr. Manhattan couldn't see into the future anymore, which probably would have saved the world if he had just been able to see into the future as usual.
I think I agree with Florian here, is that like if you do kill millions of people, you're objectively a worse person than somebody who is doing very personal bad things, but it does not harm as many people. If you're killing millions of people, you're worse. I'm sorry, Colonel. I'm sorry.
He killed millions to save billions, okay? He's the good guy, just like fucking Paul Atreides and stuff, right?
At the end of the movie, you're supposed to think this will not last. Like, that his attempt to control people and to control the world and save people is not actually going to
the thing ends with Rorschach's journal being run in the newspaper, so like it wouldn't last alone for that reason, I guess. But
in the DC sequel to this, Doomsday Clock, where Dr. Manhattan goes to the DC universe, it does get undone because of fucking Rorschach's journal, yeah. And then Ozymandias has to bring them all to the DC universe, and they meet Batman. And that's
they meet Batman, and they meet Superman, and
they meet Superman.
I think that one might not be particularly canonized.
It's, I mean, as canon as any random DC comic, I guess. Yeah. So, although I think everyone hated it, so they're probably just gonna sweep it under the rug in any future things.
Are you guys interested in watching the Watchmen sequel show to this?
I would be at some point. I don't know for the.
Didn't we do that one already?
It's possible we reviewed it when it came out, Florian. I can't quite remember though. Do you remember anything about it?
Yeah, it was quite good. I
liked it. I overall liked it.
There was this black woman who. I guess that'd be a spoiler.
Rorschach is the KKK or something, right? Is that?
Yeah, there's like a militia that used Rorschach's mask as their kind of.
Well, they use him, but he's not affiliated. He's dead at this point. Like we, like we only know the heroic Rorschach from the events of this comic. Where he's the only one who doesn't compromise in the face of this mass murder.
Sometimes you gotta compromise.
No, that's the one thing that's positive about Rorschach is that he's unwilling to compromise amongst killing billions and going along with it.
Blue God agrees that it was a good move to kill everyone to save everyone else.
Yeah,
so.
I don't believe that Dr. Manhattan is a good. I don't think Dr. Manhattan is a good benchmark for what is good and what isn't.
Really? But he's so relatable.
Really.
Though.
Oh no!
He's such a good guy.
Your God complex.
I wrote down my favorite line from him when he said, "A symbolic clock is as nourishing to the intellect as a photograph of oxygen to a drowning man."
Yeah.
Which is just complete fucking ponage to the Doomsday Clock people and their whole shtick.
Well, but it's so stupid, like everything it says, because the point of the Doomsday Clock isn't to be like educational. It's a warning sign. Like,
those people don't know anything.
Having a meter that tells you how much oxygen there is would be extremely useful to someone who's gonna be in a situation where he might drown if he doesn't watch how much oxygen there is.
What measurement
That's actually
are they
a
using?
good comparison, Florian. Holy shit! You fucking.
But what are they measuring for the fucking Doomsday Clock though?
Well, the political tension in the world.
But how are they getting these, like, the numbers they're using to inform the position or whatever?
I mean, you're gonna make it up at some point, but like we have like scales for earthquakes too,
Well, that's true. They might have found a way to measure doom. Maybe they asked Dr. Manhattan and stuff.
I mean,
even though
he hates the
Dr.
concept,
Doom, I guess. They could ask Dr. Doom. Yeah, he'd have the monopoly on that.
I mean, you can check out how secure the launch codes are, or how many authorizations you need to launch them, and how I mean, we already know that the incentives or whatever the things that trigger global destruction, like they've already been set up, so you already gonna set the clock pretty close to doomsday just for that,
Yeah. Well, I mean, in the movie, it's at like 2 minutes to midnight, and that's like, oh, that's fucking dire, And then in real life, we're at 90 seconds right now due to the climate and the war in Ukraine and all sorts of stuff is the reasons they gave.
Climate has nothing to do with doomsday.
Well,
Well,
I mean,
no, Florian, it puts countries in worse and worse positions and makes their leaders more desperate to like get resources, more desperate to like
Well, that
instigate
doesn't matter
conflict.
because like Russia isn't gonna suffer from global warming, and Russia is the only one who's gonna start launching nukes.
Iran's working on it, right? Israel has some.
Iran is working on it. India has nukes.
Yeah,
Florian,
Pakistan. Does Pakistan also have nukes?
Nobody's gonna start World War III because of Iran and Pakistan. Come on.
Well, if nukes start flying off, that's at least pretty close to doomsday, at least in the minds of people.
Well, they just gotta watch if they come from Russia. If not, then you don't have the deterrence ready. You know.
I'm sure they'll know exactly where they come from, and I do feel like if Russia were to like put a small nuke on Ukraine or something, I do think the world would just like continue on as normal, honestly, which is kind of a horrible state of affairs, you know. But yeah, I do think it would.
Japan.
Yeah, you know, I mean, well, that started the whole thing, I guess. So that's been its own problem. But yeah,
we were allowed the one, or
we
got two.
Yeah.
Wow, minimizing.
Third time's the charm for burning up the whole atmosphere or whatever. Maybe that'll happen next time.
Well, they have done tests, so you're probably safe from atmospheric ignition, you know?
We might be on hundreds of nukes, yeah, I guess.
Yeah, it's perfectly safe for the atmosphere, don't worry.
Yeah.
I mean, it is pretty silly to think the atmosphere would ignite, considering that there's constantly things melting down on the sun, and that seems to be stable enough, you know? There's no chain reaction that's triggered from there.
Well, does the sun have an atmosphere? I don't even know. So I guess probably not, but I don't know. Maybe it blew up.
It's entirely made of gas, so
yeah.
I guess it's very condensed gas. It's all helium.
I did, I really did like Dr. Manhattan in this, just as far as all of his like musings on humanity and everything. When he's
I mean, the more you sit with Dr. Manhattan, the more you realize how full of shit he is. He's cucked by time. He's cucked by causality. And yet he can't control his like worst base impulses, which is that he needs to constantly be fucking women, I guess. And can't stand that women get older, and he constantly needs a new model. So
she wasn't even old. That was crazy. Damn.
Yeah, he cheats on this like 30-year-old girl. Oh god.
And he sends away his girlfriend to be with her old friend. Yeah, wow. And he probably should have known that they would have sex later. You know, this is so stupid. You know, this plot point of him getting cucked. Poor guy. Well, I guess I like how in the comic, in the cartoon, the Dr. Manhattan went into the chamber to get the watch that he fixed for the girl, and then that's why he had the accident. But then in this, he just says, "Oh, I forgot my watch," and then oops, now he's gonna die because of that. I guess that was probably the only time where I thought Zack Snyder may have omitted something important. But I guess it makes sense considering that he cheated on that woman anyways, so whatever. Probably only fixing her watch because he didn't have other options.
He needs his watches, you know. He built I assume the thing on the Mars was like a giant watch or something.
Yeah, and then the lady just bangs on it and it breaks.
Yeah, she hits it one time and it explodes. It's not a good design.
Well, she does have superpowers, but it was made.
I guess she has superpowers. Yeah,
it's not made to be punched.
Yeah,
he did not make it with last punching.
It's just made to crash back into Mars every time it has to land. So that's fine.
Yeah, I guess how, considering that he pulled it out of Mars, it must be pretty sturdy. Or maybe he just made it break when she hit it.
Yeah, he understood the emotional poignancy of the moment and made it explode.
That needs to happen in the moment. Yeah.
and they had the force field on them, so it didn't explode too bad. I like when it zooms out and they're in the smiley face crater, which apparently that's like a real crater on Mars that's shaped like a smiley face. So that's pretty good.
Wow. So Watchmen actually did happen. Oh my god.
Well, that's I assume they knew about it when they were writing the comic.
No, like the face on Mars doesn't look like that at all.
Well, not that face on Mars. It's a different face that's made out of 3 craters, like a big one. And
there's a smiley face too? Wow.
Yeah, there's a smiley face crater.
I didn't know Mars was so artistic. Damn.
It is. They're good. Those Martians, they knew what was up, you know?
Yeah. It's pretty epic.
Yeah. This should exist in the War of the Worlds timeline, so there's already precedent for like an alien invasion.
That'd be funny.
Yeah.
Fake alien invasion with genetically mutated squids.
In War of the Worlds, they already had squids come in like the 1800s. So.
Wow, they were just plagiarizing squids. Damn.
Yeah, I feel like a faked alien invasion is definitely something that Alan Moore is basing this off of, or at least the comic book version where he fakes an alien invasion.
Like the War of the Worlds, like 30th broadcast and stuff.
Yeah. People thought it was happening, and it wasn't. Yeah.
God, can you imagine? They were so ready for an alien invasion.
Yeah. I couldn't help but notice at one point in this movie, right at the start, when the comedian throws his mug, it misses the attacker, but it hits the door, and it zooms in on the door, and it hits the number 300. Is his apartment number.
Oh, wonderful. The artist Zack Snyder.
Wait, was 300 before or after this?
It was before
a couple years before, yeah, like 2006 or something.
Oh, that is pretty epic then.
Yeah. that's how you know.
I was like, oh, what does this mean? Why is this number of apartments so high, and does this now make the investigation harder because they're gonna think they're in the wrong apartment?
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, he dodged the mug, so he had pretty good reflexes, I guess. Maybe it was
pretty good.
Ozymandias after all.
It must be.
Ozymandias is like so insane because he says like, yeah, you know what would be really epic was if I conquered the world, you know, and then he enacts his stupid plan that's really evil in order to conquer the world, and he didn't. There was nothing altruistic about him. So the fact that people would just go ahead and believe him that he did it to save the world is so stupid.
Well, I mean that's the only reason to do it, right? Like they're on the edge of nuclear war and stuff in this. Nixon is like he's like, oh, we gotta fucking send the nukes. They're mobilizing in Afghanistan, which is like that doesn't seem like a good reason to insta-nuke Russia to me, but I don't know. I don't understand.
Russia,
we've come close several times.
I think Russia was gonna nuke America at some point. I don't know. I guess we don't know for sure.
Yeah, but from the sound, from what
overreacted.
From what Kissinger says, it just sounds like he put like tanks in Afghanistan, which I'm pretty sure Russia just did in real life and stuff like that happened, and no one nuked them.
Well, we shouldn't have let them. Okay, we should have nuked them. We should have nuked them when we had a chance.
Yeah, back in the 70s or whatever.
Yep. We would have been fine. We would have played Fallout in real life, and then we would have come out stronger without any Russian interference.
Yeah. We could be collecting caps and shooting rad roaches.
Yep.
Yeah, does everybody want the Fallout future now? Because they get to be in Fallout.
It was pretty rad in the Fallout show, you know?
It's very rad. That's the whole point.
Yep.
Yeah. There's a bit here where John, he has to go on TV, right? And he turns himself less blue. He turns off the glow, and he's just solid blue. And I don't know why he doesn't do that all the time.
Well, because he's cool.
It would be easier on people's eyes and stuff, you know? If he can do that, can he not just turn himself into like a regular guy and be like normal for
he
specifically
Look, he specifically made himself buff and well endowed and very bright, okay? Don't question his swag.
I guess I shouldn't, but I'm gonna, so. He's got like the little Speedo.
If you could make yourself look like anything, what would you make yourself look like, Colonel?
Oh God.
Yeah, turn it down, Colonel. Don't be too bright. Oh, jeez. just be a normal, Colonel.
Yeah. I'd look like Luke Skywalker from The Last Jedi. Yeah.
Oh,
And then I'd be like everything you just said was wrong. Or whatever.
Yeah.
What is catchphrase?
that would be a catchphrase.
Yeah. That's what he says in the movie.
Yeah.
Or maybe everyone says it in that. I don't remember.
No, he just says it when he's taunting Kylo in the end.
He says it at the end, but that's a callback to an earlier line, and I don't remember if that's someone else who said it or if it was Luke saying it to Rey or something. I don't remember.
Yeah, I think Luke says it to Rey, then he says it to Kylo or something.
Did he?
Okay.
Wow,
Yeah.
I forgot about that. Apparently, The Last Jedi. Wait, no. Which one was the worst ever, according to
Last Jedi.
Last Jedi kicked off all of the movies
Star
gone
Wars
woke and
is
everything.
dead. Yeah.
It was
Did
Ground
you see
Zero.
the Employment video, the new one where he says? No, I think it was Rise of Skywalker was worse than I imagined.
That is like a worse movie. So I don't know.
Yeah, I guess that probably is the worst one, maybe.
Someday we're gonna do Rise of Skywalker on this channel. Just a fair warning for the future.
I mean,
it
I'm
might even
happy
be
to
on
do
the
Star
Batman
Wars.
list.
Wow, that would be so strange for the Joker to even know about a galaxy far away.
It would be, yeah. That's a whole different company. He should have no idea.
Yeah,
I can't even reference it. I'm sure they
can
have
never
referenced
reference it.
Yeah.
Are we gonna review every Star Wars movie after COLONELBAT?
I don't know if we need to do every Star Wars movie.
Wow.
There's like, I mean, those are also the most covered movies ever by anyone.
I guess so. Well, they
It's
are
probably-
also very important to the culture, you know.
Yeah.
They
Well,
deserve it.
hmm.
Man, I wonder what they're gonna do next. Is there gonna be a big Star Wars?
I've heard
to redeem it
Ryan
all?
Gosling is in talks to be in the next Star Wars movie,
Oh,
directed
I
by
thought they-
Sean Levy,
Oh, Free Guy.
the free guy himself.
Wow, free
Yeah.
guy.
Mr. Free Guy. We can have a Free Guy Star Wars, you know? There was already a lightsaber in Free
God
Guy.
damn
It got pretty close.
God damn it! I'm so
Well,
pissed.
I mean, everyone loves Ryan
I hate
Gosling, so
Sean
that should
Levy.
be epic.
Yeah.
Huh?
I hate him. I hate him so much. I hate Sean Levy.
They should just
He
do
was
Free
bad.
Guys of every movie series, you know? Why not?
God.
It made... did it even make money? I don't even know. I guess it
Wait,
must
did you
have.
hate? Did you hate?
It was
Free
a
Guy? Is that your lore?
pretty decent hit for
Okay.
the time.
Yeah, it
you
was
know?
just a fun movie. You don't hate it, do you? I hate it.
That was a really dumb movie. The Gary's
Because
Mod
it, like, to
physics
me-
gun showed up, though, and that was pretty cool.
To me, it's so stupid that this is how they like think of a video game world.
Yeah. It's like, this is like someone who's seen like 5 minutes of GTA gameplay, and that's what they think every game is. Or like, what's
Right.
the other one? Like Saints Row or whatever.
But GTA is like one of the most popular games ever, so that would be the perfect thing to satirize.
It is, but it's just like none of these things, they don't, when they have like a user interface show up, it doesn't look like a real one. It looks like an After Effects plugin, like HUD.
But this is your
thing.
nitpick.
just
It's
no
like,
good.
oh, it doesn't look visually well enough for a video game.
Free Guy is just not, there's so many, that's like pretty low on the list of like Free Guy issues, I think. But,
Okay, go on.
well, we don't need to do a full
No,
review
is
of
not
Free
the
Guy
Free
right
Guy
now.
we got
podcast,
time for this,
right?
okay? I'm here to defend Free Guy, even though I haven't seen him in ages.
We got to do other movies today and stuff, and the
No,
wheel
well,
eventually.
No, we got time. I want to hear why you hate Free Guy.
You know what?
Okay?
It's the jokes. It just wasn't funny. Okay. So
Wow.
What's his name is annoying. Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
Mhm.
He can be very annoying. I rewatched
Wait, that
Deadpool 1
wasn't
and 2
Ryan
and he was kind of
Gosling. Oh
annoying
my
in those
god.
two.
Oh, I can't believe
Florian,
I
you thought that
fell
was
for
Ryan Gosling?
I was confused.
No, Ryan Gosling's going to be in the new Free Guy 2, but it's Star Wars.
Yeah,
I
to be
guess.
fair, he does work with a lot of Ryans.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't keep these Ryans
Big
straight.
Ryan fan,
Okay,
by the way.
I have gay Ryans, all of them.
Mhm. There's the
Free Guy was like an inspirational journey of how an NPC became beloved by everyone. I can't believe that you would just shit on this brilliant artistic expression, okay?
He was a TikTok meme for like 2 weeks, okay? He wasn't that special. I don't think anyone cared that much after that movie. After the credits rolled,
there'll be video essays written about how this NPC came alive in this video game, okay?
It'll get 200,000 views on YouTube in 5 years after the events of Free Guy, and that'll be its legacy. So, just like this movie.
That's beautiful, okay? This is... for an NPC to have made that impact, okay, that's amazing. And he probably had his love story and his happy ending, and everything was great, okay?
What was the name of his love interest character in that movie?
I don't even remember his name.
Wait, me either.
His name is Guy.
It was.
Oh yeah, I guess so.
Just Guy.
It was just Guy.
It was just the Free Guy.
Free Guy.
Wait, no, that couldn't have been his
Free
name.
Guy, you know?
Oh my god, that was his name?
It's like hashtag free Britney or whatever, right? Is that the double meaning of the title? Is
Free Britney.
It's an extra life.
Florian, this is your favorite movie, and you don't even know what Free Guy's name is.
It was just a good movie, okay? It's just like that one movie where was the stunt guy, and he was uncovering a conspiracy, and he was falling in love, and it was the best that movie could have been, and that should be respected, okay? They put in all of the work into making that movie a masterpiece for its stupid premise, all right? And this is what I want to see in cinema, okay? I want to see like a really crazy concept like this, and it needs to be a really charismatic actor, and he's gonna really pull it off, okay? And that's what happened. And that's why that movie and that stuff.
Are you talking about the Fall Guy?
Yeah.
You like all the guy movies.
The F Guy movies, yeah.
Yeah.
Fall Guy, Free Guy.
Yeah. They're gonna make a porn parody called Fuck Guy.
Oh my god, and he's gonna have the Ron Jeremy mustache. It'll be the best.
They both meet. That's Ryan Reynolds and Ryan Gosling. They meet, except they're played by porn lookalike stars, I guess.
And then they're forced to make a gay porno together, okay?
Yeah. That'd be great.
It would be.
Okay, I'm glad we did go down the Free Guy tangent. What else is there to say about The Watchmen? Who watched The Watchmen, etc.? It's a very dense movie. There's a lot of shit going on and a lot of characters in this. We probably didn't even get to like half of the characters, I guess.
Yeah, it's so amazing how it's such a small comic that doesn't have like that much story in it, and yet it has like so many interesting concepts. I really wish that Watchmen would have been like the most popular movie, and then we would have seen like many sequels. All right, that would have been really cool, and prequels, and all of like million more Rorschach Diaries, you know, where he's young.
A million more Rorschach Diaries.
Where he was beating up the pedophile. Apparently,
have you guys seen Saturday Morning Watchmen?
I have.
No.
Yeah, that's great. That's I want to say that was
yeah.
That's like the only sanctioned adaptation or something.
Wow.
From Alan Moore.
I think we should talk more about how Zack Snyder made Rorschach the best character, because he definitely goes to work for Rorschach. He cut out the scene where he roasts the pedophile alive, you know, because he thought it'd be too gruesome. I think
he just cuts his brain open with a cleaver, though.
Yeah, he instant kills him. That's way better than being roasted alive. Okay, that's very merciful of him.
He showed mercy on the pedophile, and that's why he's the good character.
I mean, he like, it would have been pretty hard to to make this character look good if he's burning someone alive, don't you think?
Watchmen babies, yeah. It's I think the Rorschach's already a pretty hard character for me to get behind, you know? There's one bit where he tries to set the police on fire and stuff.
I mean,
he kind of has to get out of there. But he doesn't get out of there.
I mean, they're probably fine. It was just like a spray can, even though, like, I can't believe how Zack Snyder just made that spray can look like an actual flamethrower, and it was so huge and epic, just like when the Spartans went to war with their dicks out, you know.
What about when
he made it all slow mo?
he threw the grease trap at him or whatever? The fries. He threw the French fries at that one guy.
Oh my god, that was so visceral, yeah. So
That's
visceral.
pretty horrible, yeah.
Yeah, it was way, well, that's in the comic too, but like the way it was shown was way more brutal than in the adaptation of the chapters, you know.
Yeah.
In the new comic, the new cartoon.
Does he say I'm not locked in here with you, you're locked in here with me in the other one? Or is that from
Zack
Snyder?
he actually gets he gets beaten up and then he says it, but in this one he says it after he's just brutalized this black man for daring to step to him.
Yeah.
Like he didn't even get a hit in. I mean, like, yeah, he really got beat up in the other one, and then he said it. Like the cops and the inmates, they all ganged up on Rorschach, and then he said it.
Yeah.
In this one, I don't even know why he bothered with the toilet and stuff, because he could have just beaten up the guys, just easy peasy, you know.
He could have, yeah. But it's more spectacular to have that one guy get his arms cut off and everything, you know.
Well, I guess that's in the comic too, I assume, 'cause that was in the other movie as well.
Yeah.
So that was still good, but
I loved Big Figure, little guy who's so mad at him and stuff in prison. He's my favorite character.
I think he was more skinny in the other adaptation.
Yeah.
This is like a skinny little guy in a suit, you know.
That's great.
In this one, when he's like a little fat.
Well, he just looks like a little person, I think. But yeah, he's a great character, and I'm glad he was in there for his brief moment alive.
And then he gets brutalized in the toilet. Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That actor is so good. The little guy.
Wow.
How did he kill him though? Because the bathroom door like swings closed, right? And then it's like a second later, and he's dead. He comes out of the bathroom, and the little guy's dead, and his blood starts pooling out. I want to know what he did to him in 1 second.
Well, I guess he just smashed him so hard into the toilet, you know, that he became soup.
I guess so. That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we didn't even hear him scream or anything.
Yeah, he was very quiet about it and stuff. I almost thought like it was going to be a fake out. He wouldn't actually even kill him. He would just scare the hell out of him and leave. But yeah, he's too petty for that.
In this movie, he's just like so on top of the ride. In the adaptation, like the riot was a big deal, and I guess they really saved Rorschach. But in this one, they just come in, and Rorschach is just kicking so much ass already. And then when they come in, he just says, "Yeah, I gotta go to the men's room. See you guys." Mm-hmm. But yeah, in the other one, he really needed help, I guess.
Yeah.
Yep. Whole different kind of Rorschach.
Yeah.
Well, but is Rorschach like homeless because he's doing the best disguise ever, or is he just homeless because nobody likes him?
I think
Who knows?
Well, he has like the thing that people say about Batman, which I don't think is really true, that he's like Bruce Wayne is the real mask and whatever. He's like Rorschach's actually like living that in this and stuff. So he's very much like he probably pays like very little attention to anything that he's doing when he's like not actively being Rorschach in the middle of the night and stuff. He's like walking around with a sign and chanting and probably just watching people, I'd guess.
In the new cartoon, they say my landlady complained about about the smell.
Oh.
And he said he's gonna mess with her for that, you know. So
he's not homeless in that.
In that house, he's not directly homeless, but he still holds out the end as an eye shield, and he apparently still stinks. So it makes more sense.
It's a sign. It's a sign, Florian.
Yeah.
I'm sure half of the people who have those signs in real life are not homeless and stuff. They'll probably go back to their mansion. after long days.
Yeah, he just has a bat cave.
Go back to their main city at the end of the day,
After they doomsday preach for 8 hours, you know. Yeah.
Yeah, you just get the most begging money that you can if you got that sign, you know.
What do you guys think of the costumes in this for these characters? Because I think, with the exception of Rorschach, I think most of them look very bad and not cool.
I dislike the Ozymandias costume. I like his original one way more. Although I think it's interesting that he's like doing kind of like a Schumacher Batman almost thing for Ozymandias, and maybe it's like a mix between that and like Roman statues, like where you really show off the musculature and you really do that. So like I understand the thought process behind changing his costume, but I like the Night Owl costume. The one from the comics makes more sense for that world and makes more sense for the time period, I think, because I think they look maybe a little bit too sleek, a little bit too cool for the 80s, but overall I don't mind them.
I just feel like it seems like the whole conceit is that they do look like these very silly, like big bombastic kind of characters, and the whole point is that they're sort of silly and ridiculous in the comic, it seems. And that I feel like making them look all epic and svelte and badass and stuff, it just seems like a weird choice.
Well, I think Night Owl looks dorky enough. I think the comedian looking epic is it makes sense because he is the only one who's still doing the job.
He's got sort of like a Punisher kind of look in the comic and stuff too, though, I think. So it's sort of, yeah.
Yeah, I guess there was like this one Punisher costume that he had, but I think like with the mustache, he looked pretty similar to the version we got.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, it's I don't know. Overall, it's
I guess
movie just didn't work for me, I guess, on a lot of levels and stuff.
But wasn't this like the most interesting superhero story ever?
I think the base story I can see being really, really cool and stuff. I feel like when you read Watchmen, there's probably like a bunch of newspaper clippings, and like Rorschach's journal entries are probably way longer, and there's going to be like all sorts of ancillary kind of material on the side to like get a better feel for the whole world and everything. And that sort of, I feel like that would just play out way better for this story, because it is like it seems like a very difficult story to try to condense into this stuff, and because I don't feel like I got a better sense of anything out of watching this movie really than just what I already knew about the story. So
I think you would really like the comic, and I think you should read it.
Okay, I've got a copy of it, so I mean I should.
God damn it, read it!
Wow.
Read it.
I buy books sometimes and then I don't read them, but I will read it when I get back home. I'll read it. It'll be great.
Where are you now?
I'm dog sitting for the week here.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
All jobs purple. Cool.
Yeah. And so we got dogs here, and they're chilling right now.
Well, good thing. They could be noisy as hell.
Yeah, not right now. They're good. I took them on long walk before this, so fine.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, and toward the end of the film, they said TV is the ultimate weapon, right? They have that bit where Ozymandias, he's like, he pulls up a little object, and Dr. Manhattan's like, oh, what is that? Another ultimate weapon? And he's like, in a sensor, you could say, or whatever. Yeah, and he just turns on the TV. And I think that was a very poignant bit of
wow,
bit of a line there.
So, Colonel, I'm really interested in your thought process here that like Ozymandias is really a good guy, or that like what he was doing was necessary and had to happen, and like...
Well, when Spock sacrifices himself at the end of Wrath of Khan, right? That's like a good move, right? That's like the objectively like good moral thing to do.
But he doesn't sacrifice himself. He made it so that he can't be killed because if he gets exposed, then the world falls. Like, he's holding the whole world hostage with his plan.
Well, he's a Superman billionaire or whatever. Okay, he's fine. But it's just like on a grander scale, sort of like the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few, you know? And those few million New Yorkers and Londoners and Hong Kong people and wherever else, their needs were outweighed by everyone else.
He specifically killed Rorschach's neighborhood. Okay, what a bastard.
Did he? That's good.
Yeah, you have the comic book guy, and he's like, we see him get nuked specifically, and that's where Rorschach was, I guess, showing off his sign.
Yeah, the comic guy and the therapist both get nuked.
Yeah, the therapist. I can't believe the therapist was still in the prison as well after he's given up on Rorschach.
Well, in Doomsday Clock, the sequel, the new Rorschach is actually that therapist's son.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So that's good.
Yeah.
That's a great comic, Doomsday Clock.
Whoever read that, thanks so much.
Yeah, just Jeff Johns. He wrote Flashpoint and stuff.
That's right, Jeff Johns. Yeah.
He's
Nice.
and 3 Jokers and various other fantastic comics. So
Can't just have one Joker. We need to have 3 Jokers.
There's 3 Jokers, and like 2 of them die at the start or some shit, and then nothing interesting happens.
So is the Watchmen series based on that in any way? On this?
No, the
this
Watchmen.
Oh wait,
the
no,
Watchmen show is like its own thing entirely. It's not even. Yeah, they didn't. It's like not connected to any other like because they've done in like the 2000s they did Watchmen prequel comics and stuff, and all of that is like completely ignored, I think, for that show. So.
Yeah.
Damn, I would have liked some Watchmen prequel movies. Damn.
Yeah. Well, you could always read before Watchmen, universally reviled set of comic books. So. Yeah.
I read some of those. Some of them aren't that bad.
I'm sure they're not super terrible, but it's like, you're also dealing with like, they're making more Watchmen against Alan Moore's wishes. You've got like that whole drama with it too. So
yeah.
I mean, that's fine with me. Death of the Order.
Yeah. You can't wait until Alan Moore dies in real life. That's what you mean when you say that.
Yeah. Damn. Thanks, woke police.
He's getting up there, honestly.
I was advocating violence. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we gotta reclaim the Watchmen.
Sometimes you gotta advocate for violence,
Well, only if it's to punish people who nuke New York.
Sometimes you have to murder 15 million people for 6 or 7 billion or however many were alive in the 80s,
Wow. I mean, I think it's more likely that you're gonna trigger the nuclear apocalypse by launching the squid monster, Well, maybe not. I guess the squid monster not, but I guess the way he did it in the movie probably would have been less safe for the world than if he had done nothing.
Yeah, I don't know.
But you've seen the movie and you think that was okay, damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, he triggered a nuke in the hopes that there wouldn't be any more nukes, even though there's specific protocols to trigger more nukes when there is a nuke.
I want to say in Doomsday Clock, they actually say, oh yeah, Dr. Manhattan deleted everyone's nukes also. That's like a thing they throw in at the start of that or something. Which is like really funny if he could have just done that the whole time.
It's such a fucking funny retcon to be like, oh yeah, and he solved the problem anyway.
Yeah, he could have just done this at the start if he weren't such a fucking whack job asshole. But
Yeah,
that's great.
Well, nobody else could do what he does.
Yeah, I guess.
Imagine using your mind to delete nukes. You gotta be really precise as to not set them off.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's it for Watchmen. Should we spin the wheel, or I can pull up the wheel of names here.
Yeah, I guess we're skipping like the beautiful love scenes of where Dr. Manhattan gets cucked and everything.
That does happen. That's true. Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know though. That's fine.
Yeah, this movie has so much good stuff in it. It's crazy to me. Like, you never get this rich of a narrative. It's like all the other superhero movies, they're like pretty short and they don't put nearly as much effort in.
Yeah.
Well, I guess specifically Zack Snyder as well in Batman v Superman, he doesn't even nearly come close to the depths that Watchmen got to,
Yeah.
It was all just treading water at this point.
You know what? There's like what is there? There's like 2.5 Zack Snyder movies on here, and I will not be happy if we land on another one. So.
Wait, why are the Oh, right.
You need at least 3 or 4 months to.
Yeah, before I watch fucking 4-hour Justice League, that would, oh my god.
Right.
Or the other one that's like manageable length, but like not manageable quality, you know. So.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, it's still better quality than the longer version, you know.
We'll see. I've seen the crappy one. I watched on Netflix once, and I was like half asleep. So, and I haven't seen the other one. I saw the Joss Whedon Justice League. I saw.
Oh man,
I don't remember much of it.
That's a bad movie.
Yeah. Well, they're both on here, so we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Shall
you
we
actually
spin?
preferring the Snyder cut as well? Damn.
I don't know.
Well, I just wanted to say that, like, at some point I came to terms with Batman v Superman, and I don't hate when that comes up. Like, it was okay. Like, I guess I'm just forgiving for bad movies after I've seen them, or like movies that I hated originally, like The Northman. I've come around to, so that's. I guess once the initial disappointment is set in, I'm
wears off. You can
I'm free to enjoy the art, you know.
Well, that's good. Honestly, that's I struggle to do that often, so that's probably very good. I wish I could. Yeah.
Yeah, you're so hateful against movies.
Yeah. Well, let's see if we'll be hateful against what comes up next. Let me spin the thing. I'm gonna click it. I'm clicking it.
Oh boy.
Here it goes. We're spinning.
Spin
oh,
the
no,
wheel.
dude. It's another fucking secret, dude. I swear to God.
Another what?
It's another special Joker surprise.
No, there's no way. There's no way.
Should I put my hand on the scale and spin until we get a real Batman movie or something?
Yeah,
let's do a real one. We can do secret number one another day. My God.
At least 2 Batman in a row before we open up for
do more Joker surprise, yeah.
That's insane. That's insane.
Landed on cats, dude. They landed on cats.
I knew it. Well, I'm always happy to do cats.
It's going again.
There's no fucking way. No fucking way.
We're not doing cats after Watchmen. Fuck that.
We're defeating the Joker.
Oh my God.
What's the third spin?
It's Adam West's 60s Batman movie.
Hell yes!
Yeah.
Let's go.
I think I probably have seen that back in the day, but it's definitely one we need to definitely do. It's one of the seminal ones we gotta do for this show.
Yeah. Sometimes you just can't get rid of a bomb.
Yep.
Oh, it's that one? Ah, jeez.
Yeah, with Adam West. That'll be great. Hell yeah.
Miss Kitka.
Yeah.
Catwoman.
We almost landed on Bat Kid Begins on that too there, so.
Oh, man.
Just an inch away, yeah.
Well, I think we dodged a bullet there.
Definitely, yeah. I could always take it off the wheel. We don't have to do Bat Kid Begins, but I guess now that it's on here, you know, someday.
I guess if you've started rigging, now you can't stop, you know?
Yeah.
This is why Rorschach knows to never compromise, you know? We should just done cats.
That's true, we should. Well, we should have done whatever secret number 1 was. I actually remember what secret number 1 is, but I'm not telling you. So.
Colonel, you should delete that. Make it seem like the original spin was that, and then Florian publishes journals saying that Purple Colonel rigged the whole thing, and then it was supposed to have been cats.
Yeah, send them into the mail.
And then I explode into a Rorschach.
Yeah, and then you get blown up. Erich blows you up.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
I can't believe that Dr. Manhattan would murder Rorschach because he immediately buys into Ozymandias' bullshit. It's just because it sounds smart, so he immediately believes it. It's crazy.
It just sounds smart.
I think the play would have been leaving Rorschach alive, because if Rorschach goes out, right, and they're like, oh, we've published this crazy journal, let's go look at the guy who wrote it, right, and see if this is very credible, you know? And they're like, oh, this guy's like the craziest whack job who ever lived, you know? So we can just write off everything he says and keep believing that our evil squid killed everyone.
Well, I mean, he is the best detective in the world, though, even though he is hated by everyone.
I guess he is like known, too. He's not like an anonymous Rorschach. It's like that is a big plot point that he's pretty well known.
Yeah, he's the only one that remained in action. Like, yeah.
Yeah. Well,
I just love how they have this beautiful romance together, and then he's just like, "Yeah, we should spring Rorschach," and she's like, "What?" Like, could you imagine having a date and then you propose saving your alt-right boyfriend or whatever?
Yeah. It's just what you do.
He's fine. He's not. They actually did need him to solve the plot, but then I guess they just decided to compromise instead of doing something against the crime.
The exact same thing that would have happened if they didn't solve this plot just happens anyway, because they don't stop him from like launching his infinite Manhattan bombs or whatever. So
Wait, infinite bombs?
Whatever the thing is, they don't stop him from blowing up his matter reactors. So everything, they don't do anything.
Oh yeah.
They don't do anything by confronting him. They just get to see it happen, and that's it.
Well, they're supposed to punish him for his crimes, Like, yeah, of course they weren't. They don't manage to get there in time, but like, what do you expect? Like, he had all of the power in the world,
They're an avenging force, maybe, the Watchmen.
Hey, Erich, is there any point where the pregnant lady who died, where her child comes to life and takes revenge against
No.
Like,
how would it come to life? What are you talking about?
Well, there was Dr. Manhattan there. He could have saved the child.
No, like the entire point of that is that he would not. He knows that's not how it's supposed to go, so he won't.
Mm-hmm.
No, he looks at her and then he cuts away. So I think he would have saved that child. And in my canon, my head canon, the assassin is actually the child. Okay.
Oh my god!
Wow.
The guy who killed the comedian.
Yeah,
the comedian's child kills him, and then that's the end of the story.
That's why the child has superpowers, because she's the comedian, okay? And eugenics are real, all right?
Wow. I believe at the end of Doomsday Clock, Dr. Manhattan creates a Superman and puts him in the Watchmen universe, like a child Superman, like a Clark Kent, but with Dr. Manhattan powers. So that's pretty good.
Wow. I mean, Clark can just rewind time, so that's probably better than...
He doesn't do that in the comics, really. That's a movie-only kind of power.
Oh, really? Damn.
I believe
I guess
so.
only
I'm sure it's been done in the comics, but
Only with the power of cinema can you rewind time.
Yeah. But that's been the Colonel Bat with a non-Batman movie. The first of many non-Batman movies on the Colonel Bat.
But not the next one, because we compromised.
Not the next one, because we got frickin' Batman, fair and square. The original OG Batman film.
Yep.
And it'll be fantastic. I can't wait for that. Yeah.
That's what happened. Yep.
And I've been the Purple Colonel.
And I'm anti-reviews. Check out the anti-reviews.
Oh yeah, you got it. Yeah, plug anti-reviews in the description. And Erich, do you have plug things?
Yeah, you can find me on Letterboxd at Rebel1138, and you can find me on Blue Sky at Rebel138.bluesky.social or bsky.social.
Yeah, I got the link saved and stuff. We got.
Oh yeah.
You can reuse descriptions on when you upload a YouTube video, so that helps with that.
Can you have multiple ones?
Yeah, you can choose like from a list of your previous videos, like which one you want to reuse the description for, and then I switch out.
That's awesome.
The movie
I always
name.
hated having to do descriptions.
No, it's great. They're good on YouTube. Go watch the other episodes of the Colonel Bat, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.
See ya.
Bye bye.